Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Now, I thought I would do my first review on a film that I watched very recently, and it is a film called Violation. If you haven't heard of it, I wouldn't be surprised. It's quite a small, low budget indie horror that premiered recently. I didn't really know much about it. I'd seen the trailer, which I would actually recommend you see because it does not spoil basically anything of the film. It is best that you see this film not knowing what it's about. I had a bit of an idea of what I thought it was going to be about, but as soon as the film started and as soon as it kept going, it kept changing what I thought it was going to be. It kept moving in this really strange direction, and you don't really know what's real, what's not real. And even at the end, which I actually really loved, the ambiguous ending. Now, Violation is directed by Madeline Sims Fewer and Dusty Manticelli. I had never heard of them. They're a directing duo who, if you look at their IMDb, have made a few short films together and have worked together quite a bit. And Madeline Sims Fewer actually stars in the film. She's the lead. She plays Miriam. The film is about a woman who is on the brink of divorce, and she and her husband go visit her sister and her sister's husband. Something happens to Miriam, which is all I will say, and she basically goes on a journey where she tries to heal and maybe even get revenge. Honestly, it is a really good horror. I haven't really seen that much this year. There hasn't really been that much out, I don't think, but this is definitely, honestly, and I'm gonna have to rewatch, but it was one of the best, at least for the low budget aspect of it. It was one of the best that I've seen. I was really surprised. I was not expecting to love it as much as I did. Yes, there is gore, there is blood, a bit of body horror, violence. This is not for the faint-hearted. If you're not really into horror, I don't know that. I mean, it's not scary. Like, it's not The Conjuring scary. There aren't any jump scares. It is more of a psychological slow burn that deals with trauma and violence in the way that it can affect someone. This is definitely not the worst or the most disturbing film. There are a ton more that I've seen that are way worse. This is really focused on Miriam's mind as she deals with the trauma of what has happened to her and how that has affected her state of mind. It's quite, as I said, psychological, quite heady and complex, and the visual imagery is so beautiful, and along with the kind of like atmosphere, it really does create a lot of tension that you feel throughout the film, even if you don't know where it will go next. As I said before, I love the ambiguous ending. A lot of people probably won't like it. A lot of people, well, I don't know about a lot of people, but it seems like there are some people that do like finality and do like to kind of know how something ends, as opposed to a sort of you don't really know. But for me, it really brings everything together in a really powerful way without kind of doing too much. It could have gone for a really intense, shocking ending, but it didn't really do that. As I said, it was mostly a slow burn. The film is a perfect balance of disturbing imagery as well as moments where we can see what Miriam is actually feeling. This is not a film that is done for shock value. There is a substance and reasoning behind the at times extreme or shocking imagery of violence. Overall, the craft of this film is really well made considering it's a low budget horror. I really love the score. It felt quite similar to Saint Maud, but a lot more operatic. In fact, it reminded me of the melancholic heaviness of Hereditary's score. If you haven't seen Saint Maud, if you haven't seen Hereditary, I would also recommend those films. Those are two of my favorite horror films. I highly recommend Violation. I think everyone should see it, but especially if you're into more subtle art house horror, then this is definitely for you. And yeah, that was my quick thoughts. Well, maybe not quick, thoughts on Violation, a film that really surprised me. I wasn't expecting to love it as much as I did, but I did. And hopefully you'll like it too. Let me know. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. I make videos on horror, world cinema. I'm trying to do 2 or 3 videos per week. And yeah, thanks for watching.